Mike, check, check, check. Justin Hunt, it's all happening. Thank you to everybody rocking with the channel. Thank you to everyone who subscribed, who shared a video, who's let other people know what's going on over here. I really appreciate it. Big thank you to everybody who has donated to the channel through the Cash App. It's right up there, or to the Linktree. It's in the description. And big thank you to all of my members, everyone who's a member, all the official analysts that are a part of the TCM community. And big shout out to my newest members. Got a bunch more newest members. We're at 94, y'all. We're at 94. We're pushing to 100. Might be at 100 by the end of the week. 94 subscribers so far. 94 members so far. Big thank you to Seriously Though. Seriously Though be leaving fire comments. Fire comments on the videos. I pinned a comment of hers, I think, on my reaction to Kendrick Watch the Party Die. But make sure you check for her comments. Hers are fire. Big thank you to Young Voda. Spelled V-O-T-T-A, Young Voda. Aaron Ladd, he's a tech maven, y'all. Tech maven. Big shout out to Produced by Pack TV, my homie. Big thank you, brother. Big shout out to Queen Chill. Razalee's the Governor. I hope I got it right. I know you put the phonetics in there. Razalee's the Governor. Big thank you to everybody who has joined this. I really appreciate it. It means the world to me. 9-second applause. Thank you. Now, big story today. All these stories today are heavy on authenticity. I don't know if you guys have noticed if you guys have watched these videos, I tend to have an overarching theme with the blocks of stories that I do. I'm doing my first Members Only Live this month, so it's coming up. And so all of this has been sort of reps. And I treat every day's stories like it's one podcast. And that's how the live will probably rock as I'm getting better and better at this. So there's a connective tissue through these stories today, but we'll start with some of the reactions from Kendrick Lamar's Watch the World Die. Last night he dropped a new track. We talked about it. I did a reaction to it, not really a breakdown to it. And there's a lot of people saying that this is about Drake. I don't think this is about Drake. I think there's some allusions to this battle, but I don't think this is about Drake. I think this is about the industry, and everybody's exempt. This is about the industry. This is about what's happening in street culture. This is about us as people and decisions that we have to make in order to have a more prosperous future, or the future that so many of us say that we want all the time. And he did it in his, I'd say, magnanimous Kendrick way, because I feel like it was a very generous conversation considering all the things he could have said after the past 4 months and 5 months of 100 gig drops and sneak dissing that came back around. But two things happened in this song that I'm going to talk about today. Two artists got a shout out that really surprised a lot of people. In the third verse on Watch the Party Die, Kendrick starts off, he says, "Sometimes I wonder what Lecrae would do. F these niggas or show them just what prayer do. I wonder what Lecrae will do." Now, Lecrae reached records, probably the most successful Christian hip-hop rapper on the planet. He's an innovator in every sense of the term in that sector of hip-hop. I did a video called Christian Rap. It's called Christian Rap, hip-hop's dirtiest word. Yeah, that's what it's called. It's one of my favorite videos of all time. Christian Rap, hip-hop's dirtiest term. No one likes it, not even the Christians, right? Lecrae's a big part of it in there. And Lecrae has been able to have crossover success from Christian rap into more contemporary rap. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if he would describe himself as a Christian rapper at this point in time. I think there's probably more spiritual leanings. A lot of times the difference between who's a Christian rapper and who's a rapper who's a Christian tends to be how often you're rapping the word, how often the Bible, the word of God, the word of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, shows up in your raps, right? So that tends to be the line. So there's a lot of rappers who are Christians, and then there's also Christian rap. And there tends to be a lot of friction. There can be a lot of friction between the expectations of the Christian community on their Christian rappers or their rappers who are Christians. That's what the piece is about. Check it out. It's one of my favorite ones I've ever done. Anyway, so Lecrae is just a titan of rap just in generally speaking, incredible artist. So Lecrae got a shout out here. Lecrae got a shout out on this song, on the first line of the third verse. Lecrae actually, and then Dee-1. So sometimes I wonder what Lecrae would do. F these niggas or show them just what prayer do. I want to be empathetic, my heart like Dee-1, but I would, and it kind of gets cut off. And so Dee-1 is another fantastic artist. I've been covering Dee-1, definitely since the Obama administration, gotta be since like 2010 or 11. He had his first song that went viral was called 50 Wheezy J. And it was about how, as leaders in music and leaders in culture, and how the community looks at, a lot of times athletes and musicians to set the right example. He's calling them to task on that song. He's straight out of Louisiana. Fantastic artist. I mentioned the other day I was on his album with Murs. He's a Christian, I'm a rapper. Produced by Curtis King. Big shout out to Curtis King. So this is Dee-1. So both of them get shout outs. They both responded yesterday. So let's take a look at what they said and what their reaction was to getting shout out on Kendrick's newest drop. Here's Dee-1. He says, I appreciate the shout out, brother. More than you'll ever know. A shift is happening. The time is now. And look at this. Look at these guys so long ago. I mean, this is probably around the time that I met Dee-1. This looks like 2010, 2011. You know what I mean? But that's a throwback picture for you. Look at K-Dot. This might be overly dedicated time. Dee-1 is going to come through next week. He's going to sit down for a conversation here on the Company Man YouTube channel, so look forward to that. And Lecrae. Lecrae says, love you, Dot, always here. Now, Lecrae and Kendrick have a long-time relationship as well. Lecrae actually shows up twice in that verse. He shows up again at the end of the third verse as well. They've had a relationship for a while. There's a cool Hip Hop DX story right now that brings up some of their quotes. So he says, in an interview with Hip Hop DX at the 2024 Grammys, that's probably Jeremy Heck, so shout out to Jeremy. He's probably the one who conducted that. Lecrae spoke about his relationship with K-Dot, revealed he once came to him for spiritual advice. One of the reasons why Kendrick is one of my favorites is because early on, he was really transparent and honest and allowed me to be a voice in his life. And I'll always be grateful to him for that. It's a mutual respect, and I appreciate him for just trying to be a voice. We're all wrestling and trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together. He knows I'm always down for conversations and open to serving in any way I can. He calls himself hip-hop's chaplain. Here's another little tidbit that's interesting. Lecrae also once turned down a feature from Kendrick, telling the YTH Nation podcast he made this project before he really blew up and had this song on there called Faith, and he was wrestling with this faith. I had more Twitter followers than him at the time, so I DM'd him, and I was like, bro, I heard this song. What are you wrestling with? Because maybe I could send you some stuff. He was like, I got questions about this, this, and this. We started going back and forth, and then we just developed a relationship. He actually asked to do music with me first, and I was like, nah, let's chill, because I don't ever want you to feel like I'm only in this for what you have going on. So I thought that was really dope just to see the two, those two artists in particular get shout outs on a song with so much light on it. Both of them are super established artists in their own. They stand tall lyrically and spiritually and morally on their own. But it's always great when people get shout outs. Anytime I get a shout out, I love it. Professor Scott shouts me out all the time. I feel so honored every time he does that. And there's people I shout out that I just respect all the time too. And so Kendrick's always really good about, having unexpected shouts and collaborations on his projects. I remember when Rhapsody was on To Pimp a Butterfly, and she was the only feature. And at that point in time, that caught a lot of people off guard. I mean, here's Kendrick Lamar coming off of a classic album, classic Get Rich or Die Trying. Excuse me. Get Rich or Die Trying. Good Kid, Mad City. Good Kid, Mad City. You know what? Maybe Good Kid, Mad City is like, you know, like the other side of Get Rich or Die Trying. I don't know. They're all Dr. Dre family tree. Can't blame me for letting them run together. I feel like I pulled that out. 1 second applause. So Kendrick's always really good at having unexpected collaborations and unexpected shout-outs. Now, I thought this was actually pretty interesting, too. There's a video clip of Lecrae talking about what he saw in the battle between Drake and Kendrick and whether or not he was surprised at the outcome. So let's take a look. Oh, and this interview, this clip, reportedly this clip took place the day before Watch the Party Die. And apparently, reportedly, this took place the day before the track dropped. So let's take a look at it.
Did you think Drake stood any chance against Kendrick Lamar? No?
No.
Not.
He said that quick. He said that so quick, y'all. Look at him. He said that so quickly. I'm going to start that over.
Did you think Drake stood any chance against Kendrick Lamar?
No. So fast. So fast.
No.
No.
Not a small chance.
No.
Oh, he was crazy.
Drake is a great rapper, but Kendrick's from the culture. You see what I'm saying? Like you can. This is my opinion. Hot take. Drake is a phenomenal rapper, and Ghost Riders aside, he's a great rapper. I know he can really rap, but Drake is a fan of the culture. Kendrick is a product of the culture. It's a difference. Hip hop, rap music.
There's a huge difference. And Lecrae, I think he contextualized that beautifully right there. Contextualized it beautifully. Fan of the culture, product of the culture. He's about to go on. But that's a significant point. I think over the course of these months that distinction has been talked about in a lot of ways. I love the way and how succinctly Lecrae just framed it.
Music has pretty much always been about people coming from the trenches, dealing with some trauma, some pain, the struggle.
Yeah.
It's why Eminem gets the rock like that, because he really come from that. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to pop it like that if you don't really come from that. It's hard to have that dog in you if that's not, you know what I'm saying? If your mama was making you lunch as an adult, it's hard to just pop it like that, bro. It just ain't the same.
I think that's a throwback to that video of Drake being upset his mom didn't bring him a sandwich back or whatever that was. I can't remember. But, so yeah, apparently this clip dropped the day before Watch the Party Die. I think Lecrae was really succinct in making that distinction. It's just interesting how these timeline of events always work. There's people talking about how Watch the Party Die feels like maybe it was a little older. Maybe it was originally connected to the battle. One person asked me if I thought it was part of that long 19-minute rhyme that ended up turning into different tracks. Reportedly turned into at least Euphoria and 616 in LA. I can't confirm whether or not that's the case, but it doesn't feel like it to me. It doesn't feel like it to me. This almost feels like fresh thoughts in a lot of ways, you know? So I don't know if I don't want to say that this video inspired Dot to go rhyme and then drop that, because there have been a lot of people, again, as we've covered, in the K-Dot sphere, very limited sphere of influence, who've online have been teasing a lot of things for the past week and a half, 2 weeks. I don't want to say confrontation, but, you know, online back and forth that we covered over here was related to not only just academics saying what he was saying, but there's been a lot of different people. If you go look at a number of people who are connected to Kendrick Lamar, one way or the other, go look at their socials. They've been teasing things for the past few weeks. You know, maybe they're teasing the Super Bowl, maybe they're teasing this track, maybe they're teasing what's coming next. It feels, but you know, obviously when Kendrick drops a new song, especially one that feels like it should be part of the Heart series, everybody's antennas get up because it seems like he's in album mode. So I'm not sure whether or not this track is directly connected to the timing of this Lecrae conversation, and that's how he ended up in the conversation. Like Lecrae already described, they've had a relationship for a long period of time. So, just the spirit of whatever Kendrick's experiencing right now could be the reason why that happened. But I thought this was very interesting, especially since, it dropped the same day, around the same time as Kendrick's new song. Now, not everybody was, happy about this release. Not everybody thought this was dope. Team Drake, the Drizzy Glazer community. A lot of people saying it's boring and puts them to sleep. I saw Aiden Ross, Drake's favorite music leaker. He didn't like it. We're not going to show his reaction. Someone else didn't like this either. Baka Not Nice. Baka Not Nice didn't like this. Baka Not Nice. Kendrick Lamar just dropped a new song, Baka Not Nice, at the bottom. Ish sound like how them shoes look, little nigga. Trash. Baka got a weird case, why is he around? Look at that. Baka got a weird case, why is he around? So those are the reactions that stood out to me. You got Lecrae, you got Dee-1, and you got Baka Not Nice. I didn't show them, but you got the Rolling Stone article, you got academics. These are some of the arguments that are contrary to, people who like the song. This is the other side of that conversation. Let me know what you guys think about all of this. My name is Justin Hunt. Like, subscribe to the channel, follow at The Company Man on everything. It's all happening.
Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. The mathematical breakdown of this mighty game of rap we in. It's boom bapping. Systematical culture views, it's radical, it's all happening. Shaking hands and dapping it. Life through the lens of hip hop, from trip hop to yes, dog, you don't stop, you don't stop. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening. Justin Hunt is here, it's all happening. It's all happening, yes, it's all happening.